Gold are the largest export.
Armed political resistance war against the imperial.
Picture is important. And then he made himself emperor of. So, okay, this is post-colonial Africa. I will list. It's North Korea, Cuba, North Korea and Cuba.
Was also known as the White Pearl of the Indian Ocean.
Mambo, naitwa mengi, natoka Kenya. Iskawaran, makayo mengi Kenya wahan kaimid. So, today guys, I'm here to do a reaction to another Somali video, It's a Somali Enterprise video describing the First Republic with Adenade. First of all, like the videos, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, share them. Moving on, I'm gonna be doing one Swahili word, Swahili phrase. I don't prepare this because I feel like if today you guys will learn one word, kuku. No, actually learn kaka. Kaka. I think at least one time, a few times people have said something and then I've replied back. Or you've seen some person on the comments write something blah 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 kaka. Kaka means brother. Kaka means brother. So it could be used as brother, like as like a blood relative brother, or like as a bro. But then also you could use ndugu. And then also you could say dada, yeah, blood relative, and also for the alternative like a sister. Now moving on, what do we know about Somalia? Okay, what do we know about Somalia? Today we're gonna learn what do we know about the Somali economy. Today's what do we know about Somalia edition is gonna be about the economy. Yay! Yes! Yay! Yes! The economy of Somalia. The anthem Koloba Alankid. The GDP is about $5 billion. And then let's look at the exports. What does Somalia export? You know, if you want to characterize a nation, you gotta know what it exports. Gold are the largest exports, and then sheep and goats. And then bovine are like cows. Mollusks are like, is it shellfish? Crustaceans. And then the largest export partner, it's Asian countries. But then we're only gonna look at the largest export partners in Africa. Whoa, the largest export partner in Africa in 2019 was actually Kenya. Then Cote d'Ivoire, that is Rwanda. Then Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, then Egypt. But then the largest export from Somalia is gold, sheep and goats, other oily seeds. I don't know why they have that category. It's also the same in Ethiopia. The largest import is like, they're saying it's rolled tobacco, then raw sugar, then rice. You know, stuff like that, the essentials. So sheep and goats, like that's not surprising. That's really not surprising because Somalis have a very nomadic, way of life. Even in my country, that's what we know about Somalia economy. So now we're gonna just dive into the reaction. Okay, I didn't know he was the first president of Somalia, guys. The main international airport is named after him, and all of that. Okay, so let's just learn more, and then let's be surprised within the video. I'll start playing the song. I'll start playing the video. In 3, and a 2, and a 1. Oh, no. Oh.
60 years of a continuous armed and political resistance war against the imperial powers, the Somali Republic was founded in 1960 by the leaders of the Somali Youth League. The southern and northern regions of modern Somalia joined in a union that rewrote the previous borders created by the imperial powers, making the Somali Republic the first country in Africa to do so. In a popular universal election, the Somali Republic elected its first president, and in 1961, the Somali Parliament passed the country's first constitution. Because of its neutral politics on the international stage, the Somali Republic maintained amicable relations with the powers of the West and those of the East, and became one of the founders of the non-aligned movement. As a result, Somali leaders were frequently hosted by their counterparts in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. Due to its strong pride for its African heritage, the Somali Republic joined other African countries in 1960.
Okay, look at these guys. That picture is important. That picture... Oh, and then there's a picture on top of it. I'll talk about it in a minute. The one on the far left is the Ghanaian leader. Very Pan-Africanist guy. Isn't that Nkrumah? That's Nkrumah, if I'm correct. Why am I never sure? Sometimes I'm really sure and then I'm wrong. Okay.
And set up the Organization of African Unity.
Okay, and then this image, you will see the first president of Kenya. You will see the first president. No, you will see Haile Selassie. He was emperor of Ethiopia. You will see Julius Nyerere. Julius Nyerere, very Pan-Africanist leader. Kenyatta, very Pan-Africanist. Kaunda just died like a week ago. He didn't die so long ago. And then the Prime Minister of Somalia at that time, he's also in this picture. And then Milton Obote and Bokassa. Bokassa was the president, and then he made himself emperor of Central Africa. I mean, like, guys, though Napoleon did that, nobody thought it was weird. And then you have is it Kasavubu? Is that a name? Kasavubu. Then you have Kasavubu, or what's his name? Mobutu? It's either Kasavubu or Mobutu on the far right, and then the president of Sudan is in between Kenyatta and the leader of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay.
And through the UN, pushed important legislation against the apartheid regime of South Africa. It was the only country in East Africa to recognize and establish relations with the People's Republic of China, and possessed a merchant fleet that was the largest in the Islamic world. As one of the oldest Muslim nations in history, Somalia hosted the Muslim World Conference in Mogadishu. In 1964, Somali Airlines was established, which became one of the continent's most successful national carriers. Fully staffed by its country's nationals, Somali Airlines became the first African carrier to be flown and maintained entirely by African pilots and mechanics. In 1964, a border war broke out between the Somali Republic and the Ethiopian Empire. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Somali armed forces fought the invading Imperial Ethiopian army to a standstill.
Okay, this is post-colonial Africa. I will list the number of wars African countries fought. Just in East and Central Africa. We're not talking about the whole continent. And people will see the number of wars fought between African nations because of I would say because of the post-colonial world order, and because of how some of these borders were also arranged, and because of complications with that. And then also, Africans didn't have this idea that, oh, we've just been colonized, we should like maybe not, fight each other. There was none of that. At that time, everybody was trying to actually invade everybody at some point. I remember even Kenya and Tanzania, we literally speak the same language. And then in the 70s, relations got really, really, really bad because Kenya was like, oh, we're gonna have a capitalist ideology. Tanzania was like, we're gonna have a communist ideology. And that small difference today doesn't even matter. This is the weirdest thing. This whole capitalism, communism thing, it doesn't even matter today. Because even very few nations are actually truly communist. China is no longer communist. It's North Korea, Cuba. North Korea and Cuba are the best examples of countries that still practice communism with those Marxist Leninist ideals, except in like North Korea, it's like Kim Jong-un is like supreme leader. Yeah.
And repulsed them back across the border. A peace treaty was subsequently signed in Sudan by the Ethiopian emperor and the Somali president, ceasing all hostilities. Despite the uncertainties of war in the region, the Somali Republic placed an emphasis on education and infrastructure, setting up new schools, colleges, hospitals and factories in various parts of the country. Somali national parks boasted one of Africa's richest wildlife populations of lions, buffalo, leopards, and now the globally extinct black rhino.
And also these animals, since they still live in the East African region, I guess in the future they could be reintroduced to Somali national parks once the country actually stabilizes. Yeah.
Cities became popular tourism hubs. The Somali capital, Mogadishu, due to its uniform whitewashed buildings, was also known as the White Pearl of the Indian Ocean. Universal elections were held once again in 1967. A new president was sworn in. The smooth transition of power between the two presidents made the Somali Republic a pioneer of African democracy. The first Somali president is still regarded as a prime example of a great African statesman and politician by modern historians.
Okay, so that is the video that I've just watched. I've said everything that I needed to say within the video. I will say though that you will find that very many African countries either had civil wars or they fought each other, and it was very much related to one power vacuum left in many of the African countries. And the whole thing with colonialism, it did have a huge role to play in how Africa got shaped. Kenya and Tanzania relations also went really bad, but then these days it's like it's nice. It's actually okay. I actually consider Tanzanians like they're like our. I'm like, sometimes I ask, why is there even a border between Kenya and Tanzania? They speak the same language and all that. Tanzania and Uganda almost actually went to war, just a bit though. And then there was the Congo War. So yeah, I will list all the wars fought. Yeah, it's something that I would love to do, and it wouldn't take too much of my time. Anyways, asanteni sana mahadsanid. Thanks y'all for watching my reaction. Later. That picture. Oh, and then there's a picture on top of it. I'll talk about it in a minute. The one on the far left is the Ghanaian leader. Very Pan-Africanist guy. Isn't that Nkrumah? That's Nkrumah.